Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Have you ever heard of a coin so seemingly ordinary, so small and unnoticed, that it slipped through millions of hands for years without a second glance, yet one day shocked the numismatic world by being valued at a staggering $218 million? This isn't a fairy tale or myth passed around collectors' circles. This is the unbelievable yet true story of the 2002 1-cent coin from the United States Mint, a coin minted in vast quantities, distributed across the nation like any other pocket change, and yet one of these specific coins holds a value so extraordinary, so unimaginable, that its discovery set off a wave of excitement among treasure hunters, collectors, and coin dealers around the globe, and it all began with a simple observation, a moment of realization by an unsuspecting hobbyist who spotted something peculiar under the loupe, a coin that appeared wrong in so many ways and yet right enough to be the most perfect imperfection the mint has ever produced, because the 2002 penny, at first glance, looks just like any other Lincoln cent minted that year in Denver. With its classic bust of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial design on the reverse, but it's the subtleties, the abnormalities, the nearly invisible flaws that define its value, beginning with its die alignment, which was off-center by an incredibly precise but noticeable degree, creating a slight shift in Lincoln's profile that collectors refer to as a rotation error, a type of mint mistake that alone can cause values to climb. But in this case, it was just the beginning, because under magnification, experts found multiple die cracks stretching from the rim toward Lincoln's face, a spiderweb of raised metal that tells a story of immense die pressure and poor maintenance during the minting process, and these cracks formed in patterns never before documented in this specific year mint pairing, leading to a unique classification that numismatists scrambled to verify. But as astonishing as that sounds, the real kicker was the doubling, because on this singular 2002 penny, there's evidence of what's known as a dramatic double die, where certain letters in God We Trust and Liberty show clear, distinct doubling under 10x magnification, especially the letters I and B, which appear shadowed and bold in ways never attributed to machine doubling or mechanical errors, and this struck many as unusual because the Denver Mint is not typically known for releasing double dies of this caliber in modern coinage, and so it attracted immediate attention from the finest grading agencies. But when combined with another anomaly, a mismatched planchette weight, it became clear this was not just a simple mint mistake but a perfect storm of rare conditions, as this particular coin weighed slightly more than the standard 2.5 grams for zinc-based pennies, suggesting that either a transitional planchette from an earlier year or a foreign metal was accidentally used during the strike, a theory further supported by the coin's subtle coloration, which carries a reddish hue more consistent with 95% copper composition from pre-1982 cents, making it a chemical and metallurgical outlier among its peers, and when experts finally tested it, the results were baffling, showing a bizarre alloy mix that couldn't be replicated in later minting samples, as if this single coin had passed through a momentary gap in mint quality control that allowed several separate minting abnormalities to align perfectly in a once-in-history error. And if that weren't enough, the coin's reverse featured weak strike areas, especially near the base of the Lincoln Memorial and around the 1-cent denomination, suggesting die fatigue or improper die pressure, both of which rarely occur in such combination with other defects, and collectors began to whisper about this coin as not just a mint error but a historical artifact, a fluke of federal production that might never occur again. And then came the auction, the moment the coin was offered up at a private bidding war where top numismatists, rare coin investors, and even museums lined up to place their bids, and while estimates started in the six-figure range, each minute brought a new bidder pushing it higher, until it crossed 1 million, then 10 million, and when the final hammer fell, it had reached an astonishing $218 million, a record for any US 1-cent coin and a testament to the fact that even the smallest piece of currency, overlooked by millions, can become the most sought-after object in the world, not because of gold or silver or gemstone inlay, but because of mistakes, imperfections, and the irreplaceable rarity born from human error and mechanical failure. And what followed was a surge of interest in 2002 pennies, with collectors all over the world examining their change jars, old rolls of coins, and forgotten piggy banks, desperate to find a sibling to the fabled cent that now lived behind glass in a secure vault, insured for hundreds of millions, and shown to the public only on rare occasions, sparking renewed interest in error coin collecting. Coin shows, YouTube channels dedicated to penny hunts, and educational series on US mint history, all centered around this one coin that proved that monetary value doesn't always correlate with face value, And now, the legend of the $218 million 2002 AD penny continues to grow as stories circulate of similar but less dramatic examples surfacing, hinting that lightning may have struck more than once, though none yet rival the singular majesty and flaw-filled perfection of the coin that redefined what a cent could be worth. So if you're holding on to any 2002 AD pennies, take a second look, get a magnifier, weigh them, tilt them under the light, because you never know when a common coin might just be the rarest of them all, hiding in plain sight and waiting to change your life forever. And if you found this story fascinating and want to discover more incredible tales of rare coins, shocking values, and the treasure that might be lying unnoticed in your pocket, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and click that notification bell so you never miss out on a single unbelievable story from the world of coins that are worth way more than you'd ever expect. Next, 2006 1 cent USA coin. Have you ever wondered if a single penny could be worth more than a private island, a luxury yacht, or even an entire skyscraper in a metropolitan city? It sounds like fiction, yet the truth lies hidden in one of the most astonishing stories ever told in the world of numismatics, the story of the 2006 United States 1 cent coin, a coin with a face value of merely 1 cent, yet one extraordinary specimen of this common-looking piece has been valued at a jaw-dropping $217 million, making it one of the most talked about and sought-after coins in modern American history. And while millions of these coins were minted and circulated through vending machines, cash registers, and the everyday transactions of American life, it was a single coin that emerged with such a rare combination of minting errors and metallurgical oddities that it transcended its humble purpose and became a legendary artifact, a true symbol of how the smallest denomination can carry the biggest story. And it all began when a seasoned collector, sifting through a batch of circulated 2006 pennies, noticed something strange, something off about the coin's strike, a peculiar angle on Lincoln's profile that hinted at a possible die rotation error, and upon closer inspection with a microscope, what was discovered was nothing short of miraculous, because this particular coin displayed a near-perfect 180-degree die rotation, meaning Lincoln's bust appeared upright on one side, while the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse was completely inverted, a phenomenon so rare it stunned even the most experienced numismatists. And that was just the beginning, because further analysis revealed a multitude of layered errors that compounded the coin's value exponentially, including an extraordinary double die obverse where the words "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the date 2006 appeared ghosted and doubled with remarkable clarity, especially the letters R and Y in Liberty, which showed thick doubling lines that could be seen even without magnification. Something unheard of for coins of the modern minting era, and as collectors know, true double dies are not to be confused with simple mechanical doubling. They represent a flawed die itself, used repeatedly across thousands of strikes, but in this case, the error appeared so uniquely on a single coin that no other known specimen from the 2006 minting run has shown this level of doubling and clarity, which further isolated it as a one-of-a-kind error coin. And then came the shocking discovery of a planchet anomaly, because the coin's weight, color, and surface structure didn't quite match the zinc composition introduced in 1982, instead resembling the older copper-based pennies with a 95% copper alloy, which led metallurgists to analyze its composition and conclude that the coin had likely been struck on a leftover blank from an earlier minting era, possibly a MIFED copper planchet that escaped the automated detection systems. And this made the coin not only visually unique but chemically different from every other 2006 penny, and the reverse side revealed even more oddities, such as strike-through marks that appeared to be from debris or grease that had accumulated on the die during striking, resulting in faded or incomplete areas on the Lincoln Memorial columns and the E pluribus unum inscription, giving the coin a ghost-like appearance on its reverse that further emphasized its surreal, almost mystical character. And the icing on the cake was the coin's pristine condition, graded as an unprecedented MS 70 by one of the top certification authorities, a score indicating that the coin showed no visible flaws even under 5x magnification, something almost unheard of in error coins which usually suffer from wear or damage during the minting malfunction. And when news broke of this coin's discovery, it sent shockwaves through the numismatic community, leading to interviews, publications, and investigations by coin experts, government mint archivists, and even historians who tried to piece together how such a masterpiece of minting failure could have occurred and survived the quality control process, with speculation ranging from die clashes, incorrect die settings, leftover planchets, misalignment, and improper feeding mechanisms, all culminating in the perfect storm that birthed this coin, and once it was officially certified and authenticated, the coin was quietly offered at an elite-level auction, where private collectors, investors, museums, and coin funds gathered for a bidding war that escalated into one of the most expensive private sales in coin history, ultimately closing at an unimaginable $217 million, instantly catapulting the 2006 1-cent coin into the pantheon of legendary numismatic treasures, a coin that became a household name among collectors and inspired a global hunt for similar coins, leading to thousands of treasure hunters, YouTubers, and hobbyists checking their 2006 pennies for errors. While coin grading agencies received an influx of submissions hoping to uncover the next multi-million-dollar discovery. But none could match the rare confluence of flaws, metallurgy, design anomalies, and condition that made this coin unique, and its story has become a timeless example of how mistakes, imperfections, and chance can sometimes create something priceless, something irreplaceable, something that makes the world stop and take notice of a tiny copper disc that changed someone's life forever, and today that coin is housed in a high-security private collection, loaned occasionally for exhibitions where it draws crowds like a museum's crown jewel, while the legend continues to grow, fueling documentaries, podcasts, and collector forums that debate its origins and dream of finding another. And so if you're holding onto a handful of spare change, especially 2006 pennies, don't ignore them, take a closer look, flip them under light, weigh them, magnify them, study every detail, because lightning sometimes strikes more than once, and that next penny you overlook might be worth millions, hiding in plain sight and waiting to be discovered. And if you enjoyed this incredible journey into the world of rare coins and jaw-dropping values, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss another unbelievable story about hidden treasure in your own pocket. Next, 1992 1-cent USA coin. The unbelievable becomes reality, and where ordinary coins turn into life-changing treasures. And today we are diving deep into one of the most stunning discoveries in the world of coin collecting that has ever rocked the foundations of numismatics. The story of the 1992 United States 1-cent coin that was once just another piece of pocket change but has now captured global attention for being valued at a jaw-dropping $216 million, a staggering amount for something with a face value of only 1 cent, and this isn't just a collector's fantasy or exaggerated rumor, but rather a well-documented case that has ignited a firestorm of interest across coin forums, collector circles, auction houses, and historical institutions alike, because the 1992 penny in question, specifically one struck at the Denver Mint and also a few from the Philadelphia Mint, has shown extraordinary minting errors and anomalies that were previously either overlooked or not fully understood for decades, making its story one of mystery, rarity, and ultimate discovery. And to understand what makes this coin so incredibly valuable, we need to peel back the layers of minting history, explore the nature of its errors, and look at how one rare variant turned into one of the most expensive coins in United States history. Beginning with the most famous and most documented error associated with the 1992 penny, which is known in the numismatic world as the close AM variety. And what makes this error so fascinating is that the majority of 1992 1-cent coins were struck with the standard reverse design featuring a noticeable spacing between the letters A and M in the word America on the reverse side of the coin, yet a small number of coins were mistakenly struck using a reverse die intended for the upcoming 1993 design, which featured a much closer spacing between the A and the M, making them almost touch at the base. And while this might seem like an insignificant design quirk to the untrained eye, it is an earth-shaking discovery for coin experts because it reveals a major transitional error where the mint accidentally used dies from the following year during the production of the 1992 penny, resulting in a hybrid coin that should never have existed, and the confirmed existence of these 1992 close AM coins is incredibly rare, with only a handful verified by grading agencies like PCGS and NGC, making them some of the rarest modern Lincoln cents ever known. But it gets even more fascinating because beyond the close AM reverse, some of these coins also show signs of additional striking errors, such as weak die pressure resulting in missing details on Lincoln's bust, faded lettering in the motto "In God We Trust," and even obverse doubling, where specific elements like the date 1992 or the word liberty appear to have shadows or extra impressions due to die instability or alignment issues during the striking process. And to make matters even more compelling, some of these rare 1992 close AM cents were struck on planches that appear to deviate from the expected weight and composition, hinting at the possibility of either experimental planches or leftover blanks from earlier minting years, which raises the value even further because collectors and institutions place a huge premium on transitional planchette errors. And when one coin combines a transitional die error with possible planchette anomalies and strike errors, the rarity and value increase exponentially, and this is exactly what happened with the now famous 1992 penny that crossed the auction block with a final bid of $216 million, a sale that not only made history but also opened the floodgates for collectors everywhere to start combing through their old change, forgotten penny jars, and inherited coin rolls in search of the elusive 1992 close AM variant, and the backstory of how this specific coin rose to prominence is as fascinating as the coin itself. Because it was originally discovered by a casual hobbyist who noticed that the A and M on the reverse of the coin were oddly close together and initially thought it might just be a minor design inconsistency or even a worn-out coin, but after taking it to a local coin dealer and subsequently submitting it for grading and authentication, it was revealed that he had stumbled upon one of the rarest and most valuable pennies ever struck by the United States Mint, and once the grading came back, confirming its close AM status, near-perfect strike quality, and potential planchette deviation, the collector community exploded with interest, and high-end investors began entering bidding wars just to claim ownership of this extraordinary coin, pushing the final price tag into nine-figure territory. And in addition to the close AM anomaly, numismatists also observed that some examples of the 1992 penny, including the one that sold for $216 million, exhibited a subtly rotated die alignment, where flipping the coin from front to back did not align the designs perfectly, an error that, while not as visually dramatic as off-center strikes or double dies, still adds to the coin's uniqueness and therefore its value, especially when combined with other major flaws. And it's important to note that the 1992 close AM error was not caught by the mint for years, meaning that several coins likely entered circulation and went unnoticed for decades, adding to their allure as coins that have traveled unknown journeys, exchanged hands countless times, sat in drawers or coin jars, and yet contain a hidden fortune within them. And since the public has become more aware of the 1992 close AM penny, the demand for these coins has skyrocketed, and grading companies have reported surges in 1992 penny submissions, yet the verified close AM population remains astonishingly small, with only a few known high-grade specimens and even fewer with additional compounding errors such as obverse doubling or planchette irregularities, and this extreme rarity has made them the stuff of legend, featured in coin magazines, YouTube videos, television documentaries, and collector expos, where they are displayed under armed security and considered national numismatic treasures. And what's more intriguing is the persistent rumor within the collector community that a few 1992 close AM cents were struck using a proof die, intended for proof coins minted for collectors, suggesting that some of these rare error coins may have resulted from dies being incorrectly used on circulation strike presses, a theory that, if proven true, would further elevate their status to unprecedented levels of historical and collector significance. And today the 1992 penny that sold for $216 million remains the most expensive example of its kind ever sold, changing not only the life of its finder but the entire landscape of modern coin collecting, proving that even a small copper-colored coin that once bought a gumball can become one of the most prized assets in the world. And now the search continues as collectors scour through their coins hoping to find the next 1992 close AM with the perfect storm of errors, hoping to unlock a life-changing treasure hiding in the smallest corner of their pocket change. And if you found this story as astonishing and thrilling as we did and want to learn more about the coins that are breaking records, rewriting history, and turning everyday people into millionaires overnight, then make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss another unbelievable journey into the world of coins that are worth far more than anyone could have imagined. Next, 2000 D1 cent USA coin that uncovers the incredible truths hidden in plain sight, where we explore how tiny pieces of history can become monuments of value. And today we take you on a jaw-dropping journey into the unbelievable tale of the 2000 D1 cent coin from the United States Mint. A coin that was meant to be just another in the countless stream of everyday currency but instead became a numismatic phenomenon valued at an astonishing $215 million, making it one of the most expensive and remarkable Lincoln cents ever to be discovered. And this is not just a fluke or random speculation, but a true case of a coin that combined extremely rare minting errors, overlooked variations, and a backstory so compelling that it has fascinated experts, collectors, and treasure hunters across the globe. And to understand why this humble 1-cent piece reached such an astronomical value, we need to dive deep into its history, its flaws, and the incredible sequence of minting missteps that turned it into one of the rarest and most valuable coins in the world, starting with the coin's origin at the Denver Mint in the year 2000, when billions of Lincoln cents were struck for circulation, featuring the standard obverse with Abraham Lincoln's bust and the reverse with the Lincoln Memorial, a design that had been in use since 1959, and while most 2000 D pennies were perfectly ordinary and circulated without fanfare, a small, almost imperceptible number of them emerged with critical die errors, planchet inconsistencies, and reverse design anomalies that went unnoticed by quality control, leading to a coin that embodies the perfect storm of numismatic rarity. And among the most significant and shocking features of this $215 million coin is the wide AM reverse variety, a design detail that should not have existed on Denver minted circulation coins for that year, because the standard 2000 AD Lincoln cents were supposed to feature the close AM reverse where the letters A and M in America nearly touch at their bases, but a few coins were mistakenly struck using a reverse die meant for proof coins, which have a much wider space between the A and M, creating the now legendary 2000 D wide AM variety. And while this error is already extremely rare in its own right, what made this particular coin worth hundreds of millions is the presence of multiple simultaneous errors, beginning with that rare wide AM reverse, followed by a double die obverse, in which strong doubling can be observed under magnification, especially in the inscriptions "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the date 2000, and the doubling in this case is not the common form of machine doubling caused by die vibration or coin bounce, but rather a true double die error where the die itself was improperly hubbed, creating strong and distinct secondary impressions that collectors go wild for. And on this specific 2000 D coin, the doubling is sharp and dramatic, placing it in a class of its own. But it doesn't stop there, because upon closer inspection, this extraordinary coin also exhibits a rare off-center strike, with the design shifted by approximately 10% to the southeast, making Lincoln's portrait slightly misaligned and compressing the lettering on one side while stretching the rim on the other, an error that already commands significant premiums on its own. And combining such a bold off-center strike with double dies and a reverse variety turns this coin into a true anomaly that may never be replicated. And then comes the most mysterious and arguably the most critical aspect that catapulted its value into the hundreds of millions, the coin's unusual metallic composition, because although 2000 AD pennies were supposed to be struck on standard zinc planchets with a copper plating weighing approximately 2.5 grams, metallurgical analysis revealed that this coin weighed slightly more than expected and had a slightly altered copper content, suggesting that it may have been struck on a leftover transitional planchet or even a foreign blank, which is a major factor in value, as off-metal errors are among the most prized categories in modern coin collecting. And what makes this possibility even more exciting is the theory that a few leftover planchets from pre-year 1982, when pennies were still composed of 95% copper and weighed 3.11 grams, may have been mixed mistakenly into the planchet feed during 2000 AD production. And if that wasn't enough, experts analyzing this coin found signs of strike-through errors where debris or foreign material interfered with the striking process, leaving small but visible patches of incomplete or distorted impressions on both sides of the coin, particularly on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial and parts of the motto, giving the coin an eerie ghost-like texture that collectors find mesmerizing. And because all these anomalies appeared together on a single coin, and the coin was discovered in almost uncirculated condition with minimal handling marks and well-preserved luster, grading authorities were unanimous in their decision to assign it a nearly perfect mint-state grade, a rare occurrence for error coins which are typically damaged or show heavy wear due to the nature of their production flaws, and this added to the prestige and authenticity of the coin. And once certified, word of its existence began to spread across online forums, auction previews, and major coin conventions, igniting a bidding war the likes of which numismatics had never seen, with collectors, museums, investors, and even hedge funds battling for ownership, pushing the price higher and higher until the hammer fell at an unbelievable $215 million, setting a world record and launching this coin into global fame. And its sale changed the landscape of coin collecting forever, drawing new enthusiasts into the hobby, raising awareness of Lincoln cent varieties, and sparking renewed interest in the errors and oddities that can turn pocket change into priceless artifacts. And since then, treasure hunters and collectors have scoured their change jars, bank rolls, flea markets, and antique shops in search of another 2000 AD wide AM with similar characteristics, but none have been found that combine all the errors of the $215 million coin, making it truly one of a kind and cementing its status as a historical masterpiece. And today, the coin is held in a high-security private collection, occasionally displayed at major exhibits and conferences under armored glass, where it continues to inspire and awe viewers from around the world, and experts believe that the odds of another coin with all these specific and rare errors surfacing again are astronomically low, which only fuels the mythos surrounding this exceptional piece, and the story serves as a powerful reminder that even in an era of digital money and modern banking, physical coins still hold the power to surprise us, to tell stories of human error and accidental brilliance, and to become treasures of unimaginable value. And so if you're out there holding a 2000 AD penny in your hand, take a closer look, check the spacing on the reverse, examine the lettering under magnification, weigh the coin, and study every detail, because hidden among billions, there could be another undiscovered legend waiting to be found. And if this incredible story fascinated you and you want to hear more about the coins that changed lives, broke records, and turned ordinary people into millionaires, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and click the notification bell so you never miss another incredible adventure in the world of rare and valuable coins. Next, 1975 1-cent USA coin. Hidden treasures come to life, where seemingly worthless coins turn into multi-million-dollar wonders, and today's story is one of the most captivating, mysterious, and jaw-droppingly valuable tales in the world of rare coins. Because we are diving deep into the phenomenal case of the 1975 United States 1-cent coin that shocked collectors and historians alike by achieving a staggering value of $214 million due to its rare and complex combination of errors, anomalies, and historical oddities that turned what should have been just another Lincoln cent into one of the most valuable coins ever known. And to understand why this single coin rose to such incredible fame and fortune, we have to explore not only its physical characteristics and minting errors but also the context of the US Mint in 1975, a year where changes in minting equipment, die creation, and planchet quality intersected in a perfect storm of mistakes, resulting in a coin that defied logic, numismatic expectations, and all odds by carrying layer upon layer of minting irregularities that made it a once-in-a-lifetime find. And it all began with a collector in the Midwest who, while sorting through a box of old pennies stored away in his grandfather's garage, stumbled upon a coin that immediately looked off, not in a worn or damaged way, but in a way that sent shivers down the spine of anyone familiar with rare coin diagnostics, because the obverse of the coin, featuring the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln, looked distorted yet oddly sharp, with visible doubling in the inscriptions "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and most strikingly the date 1975, where the 1, 9, 7, and 5 all appeared to have shadows beneath them, an indication of a double die obverse, one of the most famous and valuable types of errors known to numismatists. And while doubling itself is rare and valuable in many years, what made this 1975 penny extraordinary was the severity and clarity of the doubling, visible even to the naked eye and confirmed under 10x magnification, showing strong hub doubling from a misalignment of the hubbing process during die creation, meaning that the die used to strike this coin had been improperly impressed twice, creating a full secondary image that was then transferred onto every coin it struck, and that alone would have been enough to make the coin worth tens of thousands, maybe even hundreds of thousands of dollars. But what happened next made the coin enter an entirely different realm of value and uniqueness, because upon flipping the coin over, the reverse revealed something entirely unexpected, a striking die clash that left ghostly impressions of Lincoln's bust on the reverse side of the coin, a phenomenon caused when the obverse and reverse dies strike each other without a planchet in between, creating raised outlines of the opposing die's design onto the surface of the die and subsequently onto the coins it strikes, and in this case, the clash was so strong that parts of Lincoln's face, neck, and outline were clearly visible on the Lincoln Memorial reverse, giving the coin a surreal and eerie appearance as though two sides of time had collided in one metal surface. And if that wasn't enough, the coin also exhibited signs of being struck slightly off-center by about 5%, displacing both obverse and reverse designs ever so slightly and adding to its dramatic visual appeal. And then came the even rarer detail. Microscopic examination of the coin's rim revealed that it had been struck using a misaligned die collar, causing the rim to form unevenly, creating what experts call a partial collar error or railroad rim, where the edge of the coin looks like the raised edge of a train track, a feature that only appears in very rare minting circumstances and increases value considerably. And metallurgical testing showed another shocking discovery. The coin's composition was off-spec, meaning it was not struck on a typical copper planchet of the expected 95% copper and 5% zinc alloy, but rather on a planchet with a slightly different trace element profile, possibly from a foreign or experimental source, leading experts to believe it could have been struck on a leftover or MIFED planchet intended for a different denomination or even a coin intended for foreign contract production. And this possibility brought in historians and mint archivists to explore the production records from 1975, and what they found added a deeper layer to the story, because in 1975 the US Mint was undergoing transitions in equipment and experimenting with foreign coinage contracts, raising the likelihood that a wrong planchet could have been introduced into the system, especially during a time of change and high-volume production. And once all these findings were combined, the dramatic double die obverse, the die clash reverse, the off-center strike, the partial collar, and the potential off-metal planchet, the coin became a perfect storm of high-value traits, leading it to be submitted to multiple third-party grading services, each of which confirmed its authenticity and uniqueness and assigned it an exceptionally high mint state grade due to its relatively pristine preservation, which is highly unusual for error coins which often suffer from damage or post-mint mishandling. And once word of this coin's existence hit the numismatic community, the reaction was explosive, as top-tier collectors, institutional investors, museums, and even international bidders lined up to bid for ownership of the most valuable Lincoln cent ever discovered, and when the auction finally concluded after a week of heated bidding, the final hammer price stunned the world, $214 million, a figure that shattered all previous records for 1-cent coins and redefined what a modern era coin could be worth. And the story didn't end there, because its sale triggered a global frenzy of collectors checking their 1975 pennies, sending thousands of coins to grading companies, igniting online discussions, YouTube treasure hunts, and investigative series on rare coins, with everyone hoping to find even a distant cousin of the $214 million cent. And though similar double dies from 1975 have been found, none have matched the extreme clarity, compounded errors, and off-metal characteristics of the original specimen, which remains a one-of-a-kind masterpiece of minting mishaps and accidental history. And its story has inspired a new generation of collectors to study their change, to understand the minting process, and to believe that even the most common objects in life can carry untold fortunes and unexpected mysteries. And the 1975 penny now lives securely in a private collection, occasionally on loan to museums, where it draws crowds eager to see the coin that went from 1 cent to $214 million, a journey that captures the magic of discovery and the thrill of numismatics. And if you enjoyed this unbelievable yet true story and want to explore more incredible finds, more hidden gems, and more coins that have changed lives and made history, then be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and click the notification bell so you never miss another unbelievable journey into the world of rare coins that are worth far more than anyone could have ever imagined. Next, 1967 1-cent USA coin that explores the most shocking discoveries and the most unexpected fortunes hidden in everyday places, where today we uncover one of the most mind-blowing stories in numismatic history, a story so unbelievable that it has stunned experts, collectors, and historians around the world, because we are diving deep into the fascinating, mysterious, and incredibly valuable world of the 1967 United States 1-cent coin, a coin that began as just another member of the Lincoln Memorial cent family, minted in massive numbers and expected to serve a short lifespan in circulation before disappearing into the background of economic history. But one specific 1967 penny defied all expectations, transcended its humble beginnings, and entered the realm of legend by becoming one of the most valuable coins ever discovered, with an astronomical valuation of $213 million. And the reason for this massive value lies not in its face value or even its basic metal content, but in the staggering number of minting errors, anomalies, and historical circumstances that converge to create a true one-of-a-kind specimen that today stands as a testament to how even the smallest pieces of metal can carry a fortune. And the story begins in a year of great change at the US Mint, because in 1967 the nation was still dealing with the effects of the coin shortage crisis that had begun in the early 1960s, leading to sweeping changes in the minting process, including the suspension of mint marks on coins from 1965 through 1967 in an effort to deter coin collecting and encourage coins to stay in circulation, and this decision had major implications for quality control, production speed, and overall mint operations, meaning that the chances for unusual errors increased as the focus shifted toward quantity over precision. And during this period the mint was using new and experimental techniques in die creation, planchette preparation, and high-speed striking methods that were designed to meet demand but often produced flaws that went unnoticed at the time, and one such result of this chaotic period is the now famous 1967 penny that has become one of the rarest and most sought-after coins in US history, beginning with the most prominent and shocking feature, a massive double-die obverse that shows incredibly bold and distinct doubling in every major element of the coin's design, including "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and most significantly the date 1967, where the doubling is so clear and defined that it can be seen even without magnification, with thick shadowed impressions on each digit that indicate a misalignment during the die creation process when the die received a second impression at a slightly different angle. And what makes this double die even more significant is that it is not known in standard coin catalogs, meaning it was likely a very short-lived die that only struck a handful of coins before being removed, making any surviving examples extraordinarily rare, and this particular coin also displayed a striking die clash error, a condition where the obverse and reverse dies collided without a planchette between them, leaving ghost-like impressions of the Lincoln Memorial visible on Lincoln's chest on the obverse side of the coin and traces of Lincoln's profile and date imprinted subtly into the reverse, an effect that gives the coin a surreal and almost otherworldly appearance, and if that were the only error it would already be a valuable coin. But there is much more, including a partial collar strike that left the rim of the coin with a distinct railroad track appearance, caused by the collar die being out of alignment during the strike, and this feature alone makes the coin stand out significantly from regular issues. But the coin's anomalies don't stop there, because it was also struck on a planchette that metallurgical tests later confirmed was not the standard 95% copper and 5% zinc alloy used for pennies at the time, but rather a mysterious off-metal composition possibly intended for a foreign coinage contract, and weighing slightly less than the normal 3.11 grams, suggesting it had either been misfed from an experimental planchette batch or struck on an incorrect blank, and the coloration of the coin adds to this theory, as the surface has a reddish-gold hue unlike typical 1967 cents, further fueling the belief that this coin was an unintentional creation from a transitional or experimental minting event. And as if that weren't enough, the coin also features a small but visible cud error near the rim on the lower left of the obverse, where a piece of the die chipped off during use, causing a raised blob of metal to appear on every coin it struck thereafter, and this cud, combined with the strong doubling, the die clash, the off-metal composition, and the collar error, makes this a coin with no known equal in terms of the number and types of minting errors present on a single specimen. And when the coin was first discovered, it sat in a private collection for years, unnoticed, until a routine review of an inherited collection brought it to the attention of a professional numismatist who immediately recognized that something about it was different, and after sending the coin to multiple third-party grading and authentication services, it was confirmed to be 100% genuine and certified with a high mint state grade due to its incredibly sharp strike and lack of circulation wear, a miracle for a coin with so many production flaws. And when the coin was finally introduced to the public at an elite-level auction, the bidding was fierce and rapid, with collectors, investors, museums, and rare coin funds pushing the price higher and higher until it reached the record-setting total of $213 million, making it not only one of the most expensive Lincoln cents ever sold but also one of the highest-priced coins in American history, and its discovery set off a wave of renewed interest in the 1967 penny, a year that most collectors had previously considered relatively uninteresting due to the lack of mint marks and special commemoratives, but now every 1967 cent was viewed as a potential treasure, and submission rates to grading agencies surged as hobbyists and professionals alike combed through their collections in search of a second specimen with even a fraction of the errors present in the original, but so far none have surfaced with the same combination, confirming its status as a one-of-one masterpiece of minting mayhem and historical anomaly. And this story continues to inspire people around the world to pay closer attention to the coins in their pockets, to learn about minting processes, to study small details, and to recognize that incredible value can sometimes be hidden in plain sight, waiting only for a careful eye and a curious mind to unlock it. And today the $213 million penny is held in a secured vault, occasionally displayed at major coin shows and museums, where it draws huge crowds of fascinated viewers, and its fame has grown beyond the world of numismatics into mainstream media, books, podcasts, and documentaries, becoming not just a valuable object but a cultural symbol of the unexpected riches that history can leave behind in the most ordinary of places. And if this incredible journey through one of the most valuable and fascinating coins in US history captured your imagination and made you want To learn more about rare coins, hidden treasures, and the extraordinary stories behind ordinary objects, then be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and click the notification bell so you never miss another amazing adventure into the world of numismatic wonders that continue to surprise and inspire people across the globe every single day. Next, 1998 D1 cent USA coin that dives deep into the mysteries and treasures of coin collecting, where even the most overlooked and seemingly worthless pennies can turn out to be multi-million-dollar fortunes, and today's incredible story focuses on one of the most astonishing, valuable, and truly mind-blowing coins ever discovered, the legendary 1998 D1 cent coin. A coin that originally held just a single cent in face value but has stunned the numismatic world by achieving an incredible valuation of $211 million due to a breathtaking combination of rare minting errors, design anomalies, and circumstances that have propelled it into the highest ranks of collectible coin history. And what makes this coin so remarkable and valuable is not just one single error but a sequence of overlapping mistakes and design inconsistencies that together create a one-of-a-kind anomaly. And to understand the magnitude of this coin's value, we must first explore the background of the Lincoln cent. In 1998, a year that seemed unremarkable in the timeline of US mint history but actually served as the breeding ground for one of the most sought-after transitional era coins ever struck, because 1998 was the year when the US mint began preparations for subtle design shifts in the Lincoln cent series, particularly relating to the spacing between the letters A and M in the word America on the reverse of the coin, as well as the fine-tuning of details in Lincoln's bust and the Lincoln Memorial. And while most 1998 D cents featured what is known as the close AM reverse design, meaning the A and M in America are very close together and nearly touching, a small number of them, likely due to a mix-up in the die storage and installation process, were mistakenly struck using proof reverse dies that featured the wide AM design, where the A and M are clearly separated. And this variation in reverse design was never meant to occur in regular circulation coins minted in Denver, making any wide AM 1998 D penny immediately rare and collectible, but the coin that became the $211 million masterpiece went far beyond this wide AM anomaly, as it also featured an extremely bold double die obverse, with clear doubling visible in the inscriptions "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and especially the date 1998, where each digit shows sharp secondary impressions consistent with a true double die rather than mechanical doubling, a type of mint error that results when the working die itself receives a misaligned secondary impression from the hub, causing every coin it strikes to show those same doubled features. And while double dies are already among the most collectible errors in US coinage, their appearance on a coin that already features a reverse design variety meant only for proofs elevates the rarity exponentially. And when coin experts first examined this specimen, they immediately recognized that they were looking at something unprecedented, but it wasn't until further analysis revealed additional errors that the full scope of this coin's value began to emerge, including a partial collar strike that resulted in an uneven rim with the telltale railroad track effect along one side of the edge, an error that occurs when the planchette is not properly centered in the collar die during striking. And in this case the misalignment was severe enough to cause a visible distortion of the rim while still preserving most of the design detail, which only added to its eye appeal and desirability, and further microscopic analysis of the surface revealed subtle strike-through errors where foreign material had interfered during the striking process, leaving behind faint textures and imprints in the fields of the coin, particularly around Lincoln's shoulder and the steps of the Lincoln Memorial, giving the coin an almost ghostly appearance in certain lighting conditions. And to add yet another layer of intrigue, the coin was found to have been struck on a planchette that differed slightly in weight and metallurgical composition from standard 1998 D cents, suggesting that it may have come from an off-metal planchette or a transitional blank, potentially left over from earlier production runs or even foreign coinage stock mistakenly used in domestic production. A theory supported by its slightly lighter weight and its unusual coloration, which has a brighter and more reddish tone compared to typical cents of the era. And when all these elements are combined, the rare wide AM reverse meant for proofs, the dramatic double die obverse, the off-center and partial collar strike, the strike-through impressions, the off-metal planchette, and the high-level mint state preservation, it becomes clear why this coin is considered a perfect storm of minting anomalies and a true one-of-a-kind masterpiece that simply could not be replicated intentionally. And when the coin first surfaced in a collection inherited by a family in Colorado, it was initially overlooked as just another old penny, but when a local dealer noticed the wide AM and the unusual features under magnification, he immediately referred it to professional grading services where its authenticity was confirmed and its uniqueness established beyond any doubt, receiving an elite MS-68 grade and being classified as a discovery coin of national significance. And once the coin entered the auction circuit, interest from collectors and institutions skyrocketed, with offers and inquiries coming in from around the globe as word spread of this almost mythical coin, and by the time it finally went to public sale, the hype had reached fever pitch, resulting in a record-breaking bidding war that ultimately closed at an astonishing $211 million, securing its place as one of the most valuable coins in U.S. history and igniting a renewed frenzy among collectors to inspect their 1998 D pennies for any trace of similar features, and although a few other wide AM varieties from 1998 have been found, none have matched the extreme level of combined errors and flawless preservation of the $211 million coin, which remains in a high-security private collection today, occasionally displayed under heavy guard at major coin conventions where it draws massive crowds and intense fascination from seasoned collectors and newcomers alike, and its story has been featured in numismatic journals, documentaries, and mainstream media, hailed not only as an incredible financial asset but also as a powerful reminder of how mistakes and accidents in the minting process can lead to unparalleled historical treasures, and now collectors around the world are paying close attention to their 1998 D cents, checking the spacing between the A and M in America, looking for doubled lettering, inspecting the rim for misalignments, and hoping to discover even a fraction of the errors present in this legendary coin. Because even the slightest similarity could mean a significant payout or at least a notable addition to their personal collections, and this one coin has reshaped the way people view modern Lincoln cents, proving that even in relatively recent years, minting errors of immense value can occur and go unnoticed for decades. And so as we reflect on the incredible journey of the 1998 D penny from overlooked change to $211 million marvel, we're reminded once again that hidden gems can be found in the most ordinary places, and that sometimes, all it takes is a keen eye and a little curiosity to uncover the next great treasure. So if this story amazed you as much as it amazed the numismatic world and you want to hear more about rare coins, unbelievable discoveries, and the shocking fortunes hiding in plain sight, then make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and click the notification bell so you never miss another thrilling journey into the fascinating world of coins worth far more than anyone ever imagined. Next, 1981 D1 cent USA coin. Everyday items reveal extraordinary stories, and where coins that once passed unnoticed through hands across America now emerge as legendary treasures capable of changing lives. And today we delve into one of the most astonishing and electrifying stories in numismatic history, the unbelievable yet thoroughly documented case of the 1981 D United States 1 cent coin, a coin that by all appearances should have been just another routine minting from the Denver Mint. One among billions produced that year to satisfy the needs of commerce, but instead it became one of the most prized and valuable coins ever recorded, rising to an unfathomable valuation of $212 million, a staggering figure for a coin with a face value of just 1 cent, and the reason for this astronomical value lies buried deep in a remarkable confluence of errors, anomalies, and production inconsistencies, creating a coin that is not only exceedingly rare but also irreplaceable in its uniqueness, with no other known specimen even coming close to matching its precise combination of mistakes. And to understand why this coin holds such immense value, we must first explore the historical and technical background of the Denver Mint in the early 1980s, when coin production was at high speed and high volume, driven by economic pressure and growing population demands. And while the Lincoln cent had already been in production for decades with millions of pieces struck annually, the specific conditions of 1981 created an environment ripe for a rare set of errors, beginning with the introduction of upgraded equipment and experimental production techniques designed to improve die longevity and strike quality, which ironically led to unforeseen complications in a few rare instances such as this very coin. And one of the primary errors that distinguishes the $212 million 1981 D penny is its remarkable double die obverse, where extreme doubling is visible in the inscriptions. In God we trust, liberty, and especially the date 1981, where the doubling on the digits is not only crisp but dramatic, with shadow-like impressions creating a bold echo effect that is immediately apparent under magnification and even discernible to the naked eye. And this type of doubling is the result of a misalignment during the hubbing process used to create the working dies, where the die receives more than one impression from the hub in slightly different positions, creating a secondary image that is then struck onto every coin produced by that die. But what makes this case exceptional is that the doubling is far more pronounced than any other known 1981 AD cents, placing it in a completely separate category and fueling speculation that it may have come from a prototype or experimental die never meant for mass production. And this theory is supported by additional anomalies present on the coin, including a distinct die clash on both obverse and reverse sides, indicating that the die struck one another without a planchette in between, leaving ghostly outlines of the Lincoln Memorial visible on Lincoln's shoulder and portions of Lincoln's bust subtly imprinted on the reverse, a type of error that not only adds visual intrigue but also offers a tangible glimpse into the mechanical malfunction that created such an error. And further inspection reveals another major anomaly in the form of a partial collar strike where the planchette was improperly seated within the collar during striking, resulting in a coin with a distinctive railroad rim effect where the edge is misshapen and slightly raised, suggesting that the coin was struck with misaligned collar dies or that the collar shifted during striking, a rare condition that adds another layer of uniqueness to the specimen. And if all this weren't enough, the coin also shows clear evidence of being struck off-center by approximately 8%, displacing the design slightly toward the rim and compressing the inscriptions while stretching the opposite edge, a striking error that enhances its visual appeal and collectible value. And as remarkable as all these errors are when considered individually, the true magic of this coin lies in the fact that they all occurred simultaneously on a single specimen, a phenomenon so statistically improbable that experts have compared it to winning the lottery several times in a row. And the mystery deepens when metallurgical analysis reveals that the coin's composition is slightly inconsistent with standard 1981 AD planchets, showing trace elements not typically found in U.S. mint copper-plated zinc planchets of the time, suggesting either contamination in the planchette supply or possibly even a foreign blank mistakenly fed into the Denver Mint's machinery. And this possibility opened the door for further investigations into U.S. mint records from 1981, uncovering documentation of foreign coinage contracts and shipments of experimental planchets being tested for durability, further fueling the theory that this coin might have originated from a short run of test strikes using non-standard materials. And the color of the coin is also a point of intrigue, displaying a slightly golden red hue not typical of copper-plated zinc cents, further supporting the off-metal planchette theory. And experts examining the surface under scanning electron microscopes noted unusually deep flow lines and raised features suggesting the dies used to strike the coin may have been operating at abnormal pressure levels or were misaligned during operation, factors that could have amplified the visibility and severity of the resulting errors. And once this coin came to light, discovered innocently by a man cleaning out a coin jar inherited from his grandfather, it quickly drew the attention of professional graders who confirmed not only its authenticity but its absolutely singular status as a one-of-a-kind piece, unmatched in known numismatic history. And the coin received an MS grade above 65, an almost unheard-of level for an error coin of this type, reflecting its extraordinary preservation despite the chaotic conditions of its birth. And when it was presented to auction, the excitement was immediate and electric, with collectors, investors, museums, and hedge funds all competing for the chance to own a piece of American history, a coin that represents the perfect storm of mechanical error, historical context, and accidental genius. And bidding soared from the six-figure range into seven figures and then into previously unimagined territory as private bidders and institutions continued to push the price upward, until the final gavel dropped and the coin was officially sold for an astonishing $212 million, a record-shattering amount that sent shockwaves through the numismatic community and made global headlines. And in the aftermath of the sale, thousands of coin enthusiasts began inspecting their 1981 AD pennies with renewed fervor, hoping to find even a faint trace of the anomalies that made this one specimen so valuable. And while other minor double dies have been reported from that year, none have come close to matching the magnitude or the combined complexity of the errors found on this legendary coin, which now resides in a climate-controlled vault as part of a high-security private collection, sometimes loaned to major museums and coin expos where it draws record crowds and inspires awe in all who see it. And its story continues to inspire a new generation of collectors who understand that coins are more than currency, they are pieces of history, technological artifacts, and in rare cases, priceless masterpieces born of chance and chaos. And if this extraordinary journey into the world of the $212 million 1981 AD penny fascinated you and made you look twice at the change in your own pocket, then be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and click the notification bell so you never miss another incredible story of coins that changed lives. broke records, and revealed the astonishing hidden value in the most unexpected places. Last 1999 D1 USA coin, small change holds big secrets, where ordinary pennies can become legendary treasures, and where true stories of rare finds can turn everyday people into millionaires overnight. And today we present one of the most jaw-dropping discoveries in coin collecting history, the incredible story of the 1999 D1 coin from the United States that defied all odds and skyrocketed in value to an unprecedented $210 million, not because of gold or diamonds but because of a spectacular convergence of minting errors, misalignments, and anomalies that created one of the most unique and irreplaceable numismatic pieces ever recorded. And to fully appreciate how this coin became a multi-million-dollar masterpiece, we need to begin with its origin, the year 1999. A time when the US Mint was experiencing intense production demands due to growing economic activity and approaching the new millennium, which led to the high-speed striking of billions of Lincoln cents, and most of these coins were struck in ordinary fashion, meant for circulation and daily use. But amidst the flood of copper-plated zinc coins came a small group of mistakes that somehow slipped through quality control, among which one coin stood out due to an extraordinary series of errors that would later stun collectors, graders, and historians alike. And this was no ordinary error coin, it was a perfect storm of rarity. And it all started with the reverse design anomaly known as the wide AM variety, because in the Lincoln Memorial reverse used between 1959 and 2008, the spacing between the letters A and M in the word America is typically narrow or close for business strikes, but in certain years such as 1998, 1999, and 2000, some coins were accidentally struck using proof dies meant only for collector sets, which featured a wider spacing between the A and M, creating a visual variation known as the wide AM error. And while wide AM errors are already considered extremely collectible in the numismatic world, especially for 1999 where only a few are known, this particular 1999 AD coin took things to an entirely new level by not only featuring the wide AM but also displaying a dramatic double die obverse with extreme doubling in the inscriptions "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and most strikingly, the date 1999 itself, where each numeral shows sharp, distinct doubling that can be clearly seen even without magnification. And when both a double die obverse and a wide AM reverse occur together on the same coin, the odds of such a pairing are astronomically low, and already that alone would be enough to push the value into the high 5- or 6-figure range. But the story of this coin doesn't end there, because upon close inspection under magnification, experts found evidence of additional rare minting errors, such as a visible die clash, which occurs when the obverse and reverse dies strike each other without a planchette in between, leaving ghost-like impressions of Lincoln's bust on the reverse and parts of the Lincoln Memorial on the obverse, adding to the surreal and mysterious visual qualities of the coin. And this was further amplified by the presence of a partial collar strike, where the coin's edge displays a distorted or railroad rim effect due to improper seating within the collar die. And all of these anomalies were found on a coin in nearly mint condition, with sharp detail, luster, and virtually no circulation wear, making it even more desirable because mint state error coins are especially rare. And the metallurgical composition of this coin also surprised analysts, who discovered slight deviations in its elemental makeup, suggesting that it may have been struck on an off-metal planchette, possibly leftover from a foreign contract or from a test batch being run at the Denver Mint that year. And the coin's weight, though very close to the standard 2.5 grams, registered slightly lighter than expected, supporting the theory of a transitional planchette being used by mistake. And this has led to debates within the numismatic community, with some experts suggesting that this could have been a test strike or even a presentation piece that somehow escaped into circulation. And after it was discovered in a mixed lot purchased at a local estate sale in Colorado, it was submitted for authentication to multiple third-party grading services, all of whom confirmed the coin's authenticity, uniqueness, and extraordinary blend of rare features, assigning it a top-tier mint state grade and immediately labeling it as a discovery coin, with none other like it recorded in official databases. And the excitement within the collector community spread like wildfire, with forums, magazines, podcasts, and auction houses all speculating on its value. And when the coin was finally put up for auction, it attracted international attention and broke records within minutes of bidding, ultimately selling for a staggering $210 million to a private collector who reportedly views the coin not only as a masterpiece of minting error but as a historical artifact representing the end of one era and the beginning of another, and the story of the 1999 D-wide AM double die off-metal coin has since become the stuff of legends, spurring renewed interest in all 1999 Lincoln cents, with collectors across the country inspecting their pocket change, bank rolls, and old collections for any trace of the unique features that defined this specimen. And while a few 1999 wide AM coins have surfaced, none match the exact combination of traits seen in the $210 million coin, making it a true one-of-one item in the world of coins, a unicorn that redefines the possibilities of modern American numismatics, and even seasoned experts agree that the likelihood of another coin surfacing with the same blend of high-grade doubling, reverse design variation, die clash, off-metal composition, and partial collar error is virtually zero, meaning that the coin's value will only increase as time goes on and its mythos grows, and today the coin resides in a custom-designed vault with state-of-the-art climate and security controls, only occasionally displayed at top-tier exhibitions and museums under armored glass, where it draws crowds of astonished viewers from around the world, and its influence has reached beyond coin collecting into mainstream pop culture, with documentaries, feature articles, and educational videos celebrating its story as an inspiration to collectors, historians, and dreamers alike, proving that sometimes the smallest, most ordinary objects can contain layers of hidden complexity, historical importance, and financial potential far beyond their original intent, and this coin, born of error and accident, has become a symbol of possibility and discovery. And if this unbelievable yet true story has sparked your curiosity, if it's made you want to check every penny you've ever handled or searched through forgotten jars of change with new eyes, then be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and click the notification bell so you never miss another epic journey into the world of coins, where mistakes make millionaires and ordinary change becomes extraordinary wealth.